Imagine waking up on a Thursday morning. It's the last day of your work week. You did all your tasks, you're thriving, your team is thriving, everybody is happy. And now you have a 3-day weekend coming up. And imagine more time resting, imagine more time doing your favorite hobbies, or just imagine more time hanging out with your family for 3 days a week instead of the 2. Well, it sounds perfect, right? Well, it's not just wishful thinking anymore. All over the world, businesses are starting to experiment with a 4-day work week, and they're starting to see actual results. Here's the problem with our old 5-day, 40-hour work weeks. It's outdated. It was created almost a century ago for an industrial economy and not a digital knowledge-based one. And yet we're still using it every day. And even though burnout rates continue to rise and productivity stalls, in a 2021 report by Gallup, 76% of full-time employees say they feel burned out often by the end of the week. That's 3 out of every 4 people. And it's not just about feeling burnt out, because feeling burnt out could lead to more sick days, more turnover, and worse employee health, which nobody would want. Meanwhile, companies are starting to experiment and challenge this old system. And we are starting to see some amazing results of this. In 2022, a UK company led by economist Juliet Score, over 60 companies shifted to a 4-day work week without cutting pay. And after 6 months, 92% of them kept this schedule. Why? Because productivity was maintained or even raised in a lot of these companies. And employees were happier and more focused, and the evidence is just clear. The 5-day work week is not suited for this economy anymore, and it's very outdated. So what's the solution? A 32-hour week with 4 days a week without a reduction in pay? I know that does sound crazy, but let's look at what's already happening. In 2019, in Japan, Microsoft did 1 month where employees had every Friday off for a month, and productivity didn't go down. In fact, it went up by 40%. Meetings were shorter, emails were more direct, and everybody was more organized and energized. Another example, Perpetual Garden, a New Zealand company that permanently started doing 4-day work weeks after a successful trial. The founder, Andrew Barnes, reported that employees were not only more productive, they were also more loyal, happier, and less stressed. These companies aren't paying people to do less. They're helping them work better and have a better life in general. The 4-day work week represents employees' time and respects it. It increases focus and boosts performance and morale. And now picture this in your own life. A permanent 3-day weekend every week. You have more time for family, more time for hobbies and catching up on sleep. Imagine going to work Monday feeling refreshed instead of dreading that you have to be going to work every day till Friday. And beyond personal benefits that you now get, the environment also wins. Less cars driving every day, which means there will also be less traffic every day, which also would lead to fewer emissions. Businesses can save money on electricity, office supplies, and other hidden costs. Society as a whole would gain a happier, healthier, and more balanced people. So what can we do right now? Start by having a conversation with HR or your supervisor and ask about having a reduced week. Or if you're planning to go into the workforce, speak up about it. It's your future. Encourage your local representative to support legislation that promotes more flexible and reduced hour work options. Share the data, challenge this old system. And yes, I know the counter argument. Some say not all jobs can do that, or a shorter week, especially in healthcare, retail, or emergency services, is just not possible. And that is true. But even in those fields, flexible scheduling or routing to a shorter week can still make a massive difference. This doesn't have to be a one-size-fits-all solution. It can be customized to fit different industries and companies' needs. The bottom line is this: people are not machines. We perform better when we're rested, valued, and given our own space to live. The 4-day work week is about more than just convenience. It's about creating a healthier, more sustainable way of working. So let's stop with this old system and having to burn out ourselves every week, and let's work smarter, not longer. Let's make a 4-day work week a reality for us all.